You know, when you're growing up, you hardly reflect on your family life. It isn't until later on, when you compare yourself and your family experience with others, that it puts things in perspective. And it wasn't until much later in life that I figured my mother out. Maybe I never really figured her out, but here she was, an immigrant to this country from Lithuania, came here at the age of 2, 8th grade education, and started work immediately, and worked right on through until she was married, had her babies, and then came a little later in life, and she waited until I went right into the 1st grade and went right back to work. She was a working mom the whole time, and I didn't think much of that. I thought that was normal. I thought everybody had that. Now that I reflect on it, it was an unusual circumstance. And she was balancing back in her day the same things that families today are balancing. How to take care of that little kid who was at home, living next door to his grandmother, thank goodness, and also go to work every day and get a fair wage at what you're doing. Times have changed, but not a lot, because I'm headed back to Washington, D.C. in just a couple hours, and we're going to be debating the minimum wage. The premise that the president has established, which we believe, is that if you get up and go to work every darn day and work hard, you should not be living in poverty, period. That is basically should be our standard in America. I also want to tell you, my wife and I are lucky to have a great son and a great daughter. And we happen to have a very basic belief. If they did the same job, they are entitled to the same pay. Now that, to me, is pretty basic. And I'm sure Valerie remembers, and Tina too, the first bill signed by the president was the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. This is part of looking at the whole picture. Not only providing enough income, health insurance protection, access to quality health care, and making certain that there are opportunities for these young families, for these working families, and women who are mothers raising children, but also taking a look at the overall picture in the society that we live in, what the president's done with the Brother's Keeper, what we can do with smarter sentencing. Let us create an environment for growth in this country so that those politicians who like to stand up and say, I'm for family values, can prove it.